Hello and welcome, gamers of the world, to The Essential Gamer, where you join me for another episode of the VGI podcast, Video Games Innit. I am your host, as always, Leroy Jenkins, aka the best player to never play, and you are joining me on a day where I've been contemplating. A lot of contemplation goes on around here, around these parts, and we've been contemplating good. So what I've been looking at is the state of gaming as a whole, not to be too broad, but generally speaking about, and it may not be something that you've ever considered as a versus conversation, but indie games versus remakes. Now, the reason I'm bringing them up is because some of the games I've been playing recently, they would be considered indie games. So games like Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, a bit of Volcanoids. Been playing, obviously, a lot of Balatro, but I also have been playing Nine Kings, as I've mentioned before. There's another one called Dungeons and Degenerates Gamblers, which is a blackjack version of Dungeons and Dragons game, which is fantastic. And a few other smaller games along those lines. Recoin was another one before the playtest ended. Oh, what a great game. If you haven't heard of Recoin, go and look at it on Steam. Anyway, playing these indie games. And obviously a lot of discourse in gaming in general is money-based. Things cost too much. Games are now £80, £90, £100 plus if you're in the UK. For getting a new release, a new AAA release will be a ridiculous amount of money. And on the other end of the scale, you've got subscriptions. Xbox have recently put the money up for Game Pass. People are not happy about it, to the point where they're cancelling Game Pass, because at the end of the day, we generally don't like the thesis of you'll own nothing and enjoy it. So people have been speaking with their wallets and they've decided not to get the Game Pass. But it costs money to play online. It costs money to buy games. It costs money to support those games if you want to get some of the DLCs or you want to get the Battle Pass or the whatever. Everything is money. So at the other end of the scale, I was wondering, what is the best way forward to save money? So with us, the consumer, the one that consumes, we must always think frugally if we are to not waste money. So that means waiting for sales. You get developer sales, you get themed sales, genre sales, you'll get seasonal sales. Oh, it's November, here's a sale. Oh, it's fucking April, here's a sale. All of that sort of thing. Fantastic. Wonderful if you're trying to save some money and you're trying to think logically with your pennies. Go for the sales, absolutely. CD keys and that sort of thing. Digital over physical, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, in my opinion, physical always wins because you own that item. Even though technically you've just bought a fancy token that allows you access to a game, the fact that you can play some of those games offline without an update means that you actually physically own that media. Great. If you buy it digitally, you can lose access to that game at any point. It's in the terms and conditions. Go read it. It's sad, it's miserable, it's a dystopian future. On the other hand, we may not want to wait for a sale. We may wish to buy something that is brand new when it comes out. You know, the hype is there. Hype is big. Everyone talking about X game. Let's go play it. So things like Balatro. Played Balatro early, absolutely loved it. All of a sudden, 3 months later, everyone's shitting their pants about how good Balatro is. Not saying I'm ahead of the curve, but I am. Next up is another game. So things like Hollow Knight, the first one came out. The original Hades, absolutely played them to death. I know a good game when it lands in my lap. They are good games. Fantastic. So naturally, with the sequels coming out, there was a bit of tentativeness because it's very easy for a publisher to say, well, the first one we made was a great success. This one is almost guaranteed to be a great success. Let's whack the price up. But that didn't happen. And I was genuinely surprised. I mean, Hades 2 coming out at about £24 on Steam is perfect and a steal for the quality of game that you're getting. If you didn't play the original Hades, absolutely go get it now. You can get it, I believe it's on sale on Steam for £5. I've seen it on the PlayStation store for as low as that as well. I imagine Xbox have got it at a similar price. Go and get it. Go and get it. It's not outdated. It's one of the best roguelikes you'll ever play. Period. The second one came out at a very reasonable price. Silksong, the long-awaited sequel to Hollow Knight, that I don't think an indie game beyond something like Deltarune or like Five Nights at Freddy's, like for the sort of hubbub and hype within the fan base, I don't think it was as matched as what this has been for Silksong's not only announcement, because it took so bloody long, but also the actual game's release. It's released and is being sold at a price point no more than £15. I paid £15 for what is potentially one of my games of the year, because I've probably sank about 9 to 12 hours into Silksong since I bought it, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. Level design, exploration, sound design, animation, absolutely everything about it is tip-top, the toppiest tips of the tops. It's fantastic, and it comes in at next to no money in comparison to, like I say, a more recent release. You could look at something that's absolutely terrible. Mind's Eye, still being sold for £60. Not worth any of them. Terrible. Like literally, like someone threw a spoon covered in jam into the random crap drawer, and whatever came out stuck to it. They went, yeah, this works as game design. That's fine. Yeah, it's awful and not worth that money. Whereas something like Silksong or Hades 2 or other games along those lines, far lower price points, far more enjoyable. Quality, good. Value for money, tasty, num-num. Good consuming. Excellent consuming. So what I was considering was, well, how can we get that with a new release? And something I've noticed is that the swell of remakes that has absolutely washed Hollywood down the drain to the rest of the shit heap. I mean, I don't know how we can remake any more movies, how we can rehash any more franchises, how some franchises just don't die because they refuse. But I'll get onto that and another conversation. That's a different conversation to have. But the ringing of, well, this worked before, surely it will work again. Press the nostalgia button. Let's keep everyone thinking that they're living in the 90s. You know, Stussy's suddenly become famous again as a clothing brand. Everyone's wearing Stussy, like we weren't all wearing that in the early 90s as we were bailing off of our boards, man. Doing our fucking BMX X-ups in the park. I've done a kick-up. Look at me with my fucking handle spin. That's a bar spin, actually. It's pressing a nostalgia button and it gets you to go purchase it. So it's guaranteed. Now, things like the Dead Space remake were sold at a lower price point than, say, the original release of the Callisto Protocol, which is a brand new IP. Didn't do very good, and that's not the point I'm trying to make. But that cost a lot more than the far superior Dead Space remake. There's been other remakes that have started to creep in. I've heard word of a Deus Ex remake, which, if sticking to previous trends, will be launched at a lower price point. The GTA Definitive Editions, collectively, was cheaper than the original versions of those games being released on different platforms as well. So, I wonder, could this be a trend to get a new, and I'm using quotations, a new game for a more reasonable price? Do we wait for the remake? But then where do we stop? Because I've also heard that there's a Warriors, or a petition for a Warriors remake. If you don't know what Warriors is, fantastic game based on an equally fantastic movie. On the PS2, did probably more for Rockstar's cult status than they'd ever let on. Obviously, everyone remembers GTA. Some people remember Manhunt. Other people remember Bully. But the real aficionados, and slightly older people, will remember the Warriors. It was the absolute toppy sloppy toppiness of beat 'em ups. It did it in a way that Shaolin monks could only imitate. It was the sort of Streets of Rage style, but in 3D, and it's a bit more chaotic, and it's made by Rockstar, so it's actually quite gritty, just like the movie is at times. There's the right amount of violence, and it's matched with the soundtrack and the videography and all of that stuff that made the movie so good went into the game. Now, you can pick it up still. I have got a copy of The Warriors. I have played it not too long ago. I will play it again because it's that bloody good. But I worry that something like The Warriors that they know is going to do relatively well, and it is Rockstar, will get priced a little bit too high. I've also heard of a Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition or Enhanced Edition or something to placate the gap between last gen and this gen for the cowboys. And I don't foresee it being very different to the GTA 5 next gen update. It will look shinier, it will look nicer if possible. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still to this day one of the most stunning games that exists on any platform. If you play it on PlayStation 5, it looks fantastic. It is fantastic. But how much would an enhanced edition of that game cost? Is it enough of a change for it to be worth full price? Or is it not enough of a difference and it's overpriced? And in which case they have to drop the price. Is it worth getting that version of it that's locked to one new generation of console for cheap? I mean, it's all starting to get a bit muddy already. So my argument is this. For value for money, is it better to buy an indie game or a remake of a previously successful game if they are indeed priced within the same margins? It's a tough one. I haven't really been able to decide. Anyway, how have you been? I'm just rattling. I just started talking to you, started chewing your ear off there. I'm sure you didn't really want me to do that straight away. Or maybe you did. I don't know. Maybe you could, I don't know, write in. Yeah, write in. I'm going to put in the description to this one an email address. And if you've got any questions or any subjects that you would like me or us here on the podcast to discuss, send it in. I'll take a look, and if it's any good, you might find me chatting shit about whatever you want me to chat shit about in future episodes. How does that sound? That sounds like a deal. But a good deal, that, Lee. Oh, thanks very much, Lee. Yeah, nice one. Cheers. I tell you what, I will tell you what I have been playing just recently. Obviously, I made a bit of a list before there. They were mainly the indie games. I have been playing some bigger releases, one of them being Death Stranding 2 in the last week. My eyes have bled with how beautiful that game is. The Decima engine and the way that Kojima Productions have made it, I mean, photorealistic doesn't do it enough justice. It's uncanny. Humans, not so much. I will say that the human characters, while looking fantastic and very, very close to their human counterparts, you can still tell it's a digital rendition of a human. It's not that picture perfect that I think, Jesus Christ, they've trapped a real man on my TV. It's not that good in sense of it's still got that uncanny valley, sort of recognisably animated textures and things to it, and the way it looks. But the terrain, I'll call it, and the environments and everything about how something looks in Death Stranding 2, if you're walking on it or across it or through it or whatever, it has got to be the most realistic looking game on the market. I haven't seen anything else that looks even remotely close to how good it looks. Ghost of Yotaro has just come out. A lot of people are talking about how that looks, but that's a very stylistic and has its own art style that sets it above. It's the same as Ghost of Tsushima. They are stunning games, but in their own right, because of the way that they have applied the applied the environments around what you are doing. Whereas Death Stranding 2 is you versus the environment, and the environment doesn't let you down at all. It is easily, by and large, the best looking game available currently. We're mid-October-ish. No, we're not. We're at the start of October. So I just want you to know that that's when I said this, in case something better looking has come out since, by the time this podcast goes up. But no, at the moment I can't recommend it enough if you enjoyed the first Death Stranding. I love the first Death Stranding. It's on my tier list, and when I say tier list, there's a selection of games that tickled my emotions to the point where I might have had a little weep. Might have mentioned that before. Death Stranding 1 is on that. Kojima got me right at the end, the bastard. In this one, I felt an immense sense of returning home when I started the game, which is not something I get often. I got it with Red Dead 2. What's the other game that did it for me? This is what I've been waiting for. I think it was the first time I put on GTA 4, and I was like, holy shit, because I'd been waiting that long since San Andreas, and then it just clicked, like, wow, stunning. This is one of the best games to ever exist, and I stand by it. It looks like shit now, GTA 4, but it is easily one of the best Rockstar games, alongside The Warriors, that they've ever made. So yeah, who knows what remakes we may or may not see. Who knows what indie games may come out. Who knows what big games may tickle our fancies. I waited, as I mentioned before, for a sale to buy Death Stranding 2, because at the time I'd bought quite a few games. We don't always get free copies and review copies sent through to us. Sometimes we do actually have to go out and buy stuff with our own actual monies. And as a man that works and has children and financial responsibilities, I can't always go and buy games. Sometimes it's just not to be, and I wait and I see a sale, and at the moment I believe on Amazon, Death Stranding 2 for the PlayStation 5 is on a sale for £53. I would say that is far better than 70. I would argue that it's probably the cheapest you'll get it for now, unless you want to wait for a Christmas sale or even next year. Yeah, go for that. But as I say, that's why I've had to wait. That's why sales are important. That's why the talk of being frugal and sort of money savvy has entered into the podcast this week, just because of money. We ain't got it. We don't earn enough of it. They want to keep on taking too much of it from us, so I say fuck them. Let's play them at their own game. We'll wait for sales. We'll get those indie games that are new releases and absolutely worth us sinking the pennies into an independent studio that's worked their balls off with all of the skill of a big 100, 200, 300 person team when there's only like 50 of them, or some of them are like a handful of people. I think to this day, even a game like No Man's Sky only has about 70 people working on it. And that game is fucking huge. That game is so big, it's ridiculous. It doesn't work. I've got a video coming out. I'm not sure when it will be out, actually. But I have recently cut a video for Voyagers, which is a glitch compilation. It's a mess, but it's still great fun. It doesn't take away from the game too much. It's got that sort of old school Bethesda jank to it that just makes something wonderful. Like, oh, this thing that's not meant to be happening is happening. I'm gonna film this and then get on with my day. That's what I've been doing with No Man's Sky, so that's coming. Obviously, I hope that you're having a wonderful autumnal season. I know we're getting into the trick-or-treatings. I don't know if you do it in your part of the world. We kind of do it here. It's very much an American thing. So, as my mum used to say, so all the people across the pond, I hope you have a nice fall, as you call it. Over here, of course, that just means I hope you hit the ground because you've tripped over. I don't actually think that. I hope you just have a nice autumn period. I know I've been waiting for it. It's mushroom time. It's brown leaf time. Obviously, I'm out in the open air studio in the woods, and you can hear the birds chirping around me. The leaves are falling, and that means more time inside to play video games. What a wonderful time of year it truly is becoming. Well, I think that's going to do it for the podcast. I think that's going to do it for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you, well, not see you, I'll speak to you directly in the next one. Obviously, check out the channel for more videos. There's new stuff coming up. Carlos has been absolutely killing it recently. Truly just murdering with his videos. They've been so good. I feel bad sometimes that we haven't cracked the algorithm properly again since our heyday, because he deserves more eyes on his videos. They're just so bloody funny. Lilitha, absolutely killing it as always, and I'm plodding along. I'm getting some stuff out. I'm making some videos. There's a return of the update. What is it is coming back again. I'm getting back to it. I've got myself a little recording booth at home now that works with a big like pillow thing that goes around my head and dampens all the sound. Hopefully you'll be able to tell the difference. It might just be that it gives me enough confidence to hide under the pillows and talk into a microphone a bit more. Live streams, all that shit, all the normal, like, hey, we're YouTubers type YouTuber stuff, but without the fucking cornball blue hair and hey guys, it's Lee. This week on the channel, fuck off, mate. Like, no one wants that, do they? I just hope that if you are watching, you're enjoying it, and at the very least, give us thumbs ups and subscribe and just keep us ticking. So we would like to push this into full time one day. We want to come at you with more stuff, but to do that, we need the support just for money. Just need for fucking money. There is a Patreon which I can't remember how to use. So if anyone knows how to use that, let me know, yeah? I haven't got a fucking clue. Like, absolutely clueless as to what I'm supposed to be doing for the most part. The other day I needed someone to basically talk me through how to do an e-consult with the doctors, because I just don't know how to do it. For a man that's at the forefront of technology, it's easy to feel like you're 1,000 years old when a new system comes out and you just haven't used it yet. Interesting. It's like a new game. So you pick up a new game, and for that first half an hour you're just pressing all the wrong buttons. You've got muscle memory from old stuff, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck does this work? And then 10 minutes into Death Stranding, I'm remembering that I've got to balance on stuff. I've got to hold my drawstrings up. Oh, hold your breath so you don't do this and do that. And yeah, it all comes back, is what I'm trying to say. It all comes back. And you'll come back, hopefully, to the next episode of the Video Games Innit podcast. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry for warbling in your ear. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to talk about in future podcasts. Yep, go to that email address that is in the thing, because I've done it properly. Description down below. Until the next one, enjoy your games. Keep gaming, gamers. Goodbye.